air filter change time for the Skoda Octavia 1.4 TSI 140 brake, and it's under here. So we've got a few things to remove. Unfortunately there's no screws on the top to get access to this, so you have to remove this pipe by pushing it out. Friction fit for that one. You need to clamp something over here to loosen that and slide that up so that you can slide this pipe out, and same for here. Squeeze that with some pliers and then you can pull that pipe out, and then you can lift this off to get the access to the screws behind. So you think you'd be able to do it just by the clips here. There's 4 of those, but sadly not. It's actually held in by screws underneath. Helpful. So what you need is a screwdriver, crosshead, and some of these grips are useful because these can be adjustable and you can actually open up the jaw to make it quite wide. And then for getting the rubber pipe off, I'm going to try and use this, but you know, a wide screwdriver is perfect for that, and that's all you should need to get access to that. So what I'm doing here is I'm just levering this off gently with a screwdriver, and it's coming off quite nicely, so just keep doing that, and then eventually should be able to get hold of that and just pop it off. It's just a pipe. So I'm going to use my grips. I'm going to grip this. It's probably a special tool for this, but grab that, and then what you need to do is you need to remove this hose. Might be a bit stiff on the first go. There we go. So what you're doing here, if I show you, is you're just clamping or opening that just to allow the pipe to slide off. So you need to do that with the same on this one here. With the correct tool it's probably super easy, but if you get some fairly wide grips it's quite good, quite easy. So again, just on here, open the jaws up if you like of the clip, and then we can slide that back off. You get a bit of wriggle room just to be able to do that. This one is at the top, is a bit more tricky because of course you've got the static fixed pipe here, where here down here is a concertinaed piece. And this one's a bit more tricky, but I've slid the collar down here for the minute. And there we go, it's coming. So you can see I've just slid the pipe, the outer pipe, off this neck. We've got this one out, of course. We've done the same to this one down here. And then what you need to do is you need to pull up there and pull up here. And then we should be able to remove the entire filter box. So weird design. And underneath you can do a bit of a clean. Check the other pipes, because there is a recall on some models where the pipe has been worn through here, but this looks okay. There's a piece of foam that kind of goes on here if you have an issue, but yeah, you can see these lugs, 1, 2 and 3, and if we look at the filter box, turn it upside down, what they do is they go into these rubber holes here, the receiving holes. They just go in there. So it's a good idea just to keep these slightly lubricated with a bit of oil, just so that when you need to do this again they haven't dried up too much. But it's just a case of popping that off, and now we have our lovely filter box. And of course here is our screws, crosshead, which we need to undo to get access to the filter. Now if they weren't there, in theory you'd be able to undo this lid, because there's a clip, another clip, one over there and one over there. You'll be able to do that in situ, but no, they don't make that easy. So there we go, there's our intake, and that's from the fresh air. So time to split this open and get to the filter. So once you've removed these, they should be captive as well, they stay in the holders. You can then press in these tabs and be gentle because they might be quite brittle by the time that you've done this. And then what we need to do is just press them in, and then you can take the top half off and separate it to get to the filter. So let's give that a go. So a good starting one is to press in with your finger here, and then use this hand here to lever that pipe out, so you're separating these pieces. You can do the same with the bottom one. So it's pressing in here and just separating it. And there we go, so it just comes apart like so. So you can check for debris in here, clean that out. So here's the filter. This is the dirty side, and it's a case of just peeling this off. It's got the 2 pin holes there, and that's been in for a little while actually, to be fair, so that is definitely due a change. There's the clean side, dirty side. Don't know what's going on here, but that's opened up. But yeah, there we go. And the model, I've gone for a Mann filter, which is C27009. So there we go, good comparison. Old, new, C27009. So just a case of really replacing what you've done, putting it back together again. So when you're installing the filter, make sure you install it into the bottom part, the bit that sits down into those lugs. Because if you try and stick it in that way up, it's a nightmare to try and fish it into all these gaps here and the edge. So stick it in this way and you'll find it a lot easier to get that into position. So what you're doing is you're just going to feed that into there, and it sits in quite nicely all around, and then it's a case of just closing it up. So once that's sat in and it's nice and pushed down all around, it's a case of clipping this into place so it goes together. Again, only one way, of course. These clips will line up if you've got it correct, and you can just remember how it orientates itself. And then it's a case of pressing it in and clipping it down. So all these clips should be into position. And then of course it's screws, 2 of those, screw them up. Okay, once it's all together, it's a case of feeding it back into the 2 hoses. And once you're happy it's kind of in position, you can push it down onto those lugs, making sure you get these hoses into there to make it easy for you. And then it's repositioning these lovely clips so that you can get the hose back on. There we go. Same with this one. Once you kind of get them in, they work pretty well. They just go in and they slot into home. And don't forget your final little hose here. That just pushes on. And that is it. Make sure you're just pressing down here, 1, 2 and 3, and job's done. Thanks for watching.